Islam Makhachev dropped a statement that instantly lit up the MMA world after his welterweight debut against Jack Della Maddalena at UFC 322. He already has his sights set on Kamaru Usman.
In welterweight, someone wanted to ask.
After Jack?
Yeah, after Jack.
After Jack, I think...
Belal?
No, Belal. Kamaru. Kamaru Usman. He had like most title defense in welterweight. Now he is in good position. Which number here, I don't know.
The Dagestani star, already considered one of the best grapplers in UFC history, is stepping up to the 170-pound division for the first time and is doing it against one of the most dangerous punchers in the sport. Jack Della Maddalena, the Australian with crust boxing and ruthless composure, stands in his way. The stakes couldn't be higher. Makhachev is going for a second divisional title, while Della Maddalena is defending his belt for the first time. The outcome could reshape the welterweight landscape, and both men know it.
How do you think Islam does against JDM?
You're gonna take him down, make him tired, hold him there, and after that, if you can finish him, if you can, by decision, you have to win. All people know what we're gonna do, but they can do nothing with that. And we're so excited for him because of two-time champion. In our gym, we don't have this guy, but Islam gonna be, inshallah.
Usman, on the other hand, is already eyeing what comes after. Having recently turned to the win column after defeating Buckley, he's made it known that he believes he should be next in line for the title shot. The Nigerian nightmare, who once ruled the welterweight division with unmatched dominance, feels his record speaks for itself. 5 title defenses, victories over elite names, and only 1 loss in his entire welterweight career to Leon Edwards. Despite the ups and downs, Usman believes his position near the top hasn't changed. He's aware that lightweight champion Ilia Topuria has been teasing a move up to challenge Makhachev should Islam wield the belt. But Usman isn't letting that talk bother him too much. He understands that in the UFC, decisions often come down to timing and what the company wants. Still, his belief is firm. He's earned the right to fight for the title next. From his perspective, experience, legacy, and performance all point to one direction: back to the gold.
If JDM defends and wins defends that title against Islam, who better than to say, okay, let's solidify him as the new generation of champion by taking on the biggest name, the former pound for pound in the division? Of course, me. And listen, and then of course, if Islam wins, pound for pound versus pound for pound fighting, I mean, I'm not really worried here. You know, I've done my job to let them know, because they wanted to see, hey, are you still that guy? Can you still hang with these guys? Can you still do your thing? And I've done that. I've went in there and I've showed them that, so I'm not worried.
The story becomes even more interesting when looking at the recent paths of these fighters. Usman's reign as champion ended in one of the sport's most shocking moments, a head kick from Leon Edwards that changed everything. Rematch, and later took a short notice fight against Chimaev at middleweight, narrowly losing a majority decision. His return fight against Buckley was crucial. He needed to prove he still had the fire, and he did. Beating a rising contender after nearly 2 years away reminded everyone that Usman wasn't finished yet. He also made it a point to remind fans that his welterweight record remains elite. Losing only to Edwards, the current champion has no reason to count him out. Usman sees himself as the measuring stick, the fighter everyone still has to go through to prove they belong at the top.
There was a lot of questions on whether I could still hang with these guys now, these new names in the division, and arguably I went in there against the most dangerous one, and I showed that, yes, I am still that guy. And so hopefully that's been enough for them to show that I'm ready to go back, and I'm sitting here looking at the winner like, all right, let's run it.
Meanwhile, Della Maddalena faces perhaps the biggest challenge of his career. His calm, surgical approach to fighting has won his admirers around the world, but Makhachev's suffocating wrestling style presents a completely different type of test. For Jack, this fight is about proving that elite striking and composure can overcome world-class grappling. His fans see him as the future of the division, a fighter who represents technical precision and grit in equal measure.
Honestly, this is one of the maybe hardest fight for me, because he's big, he's good everywhere. Maybe he don't have good wrestling defense, but his grappling is good. He defends grappling very well, you know. That's why I'm prepare myself for anything. I can strike with him, I can wrestling with him, grappling with him, but I know he also training hard for me, because his last opponent, Belal, we have like not same style, but Belal also tried to wrestling, but he defends his wrestling very well. That's why I have to be ready. If he stop my wrestling, I'm gonna try again. If not happen, I will strike with.
Joaquin Buckley, who recently shared the cage with Usman, has been vocal about how he thinks UFC 322 will play out. From his perspective, Makhachev's wrestling will simply be too overwhelming for Della Maddalena to handle. He believes Islam won't just control the fight but finish it, predicting a stoppage by either TKO or submission in the third round. For Buckley, it's not about disrespecting Della Maddalena's skills, it's about recognizing how Makhachev's pressure and submission game can break even the toughest opponents.
I'm happy that he's moving up and he's taking on a new challenge within JDM. JDM has massive knockout power, has excellent boxing, has excellent striking. But that ain't gonna mean nothing when you're on your back, all right? So Islam, immediately when they fight, he's gonna push him up against the cage, he's gonna take him down to the canvas, and he's gonna hold him there as long as he can. But you already know, Islam, he's not just gonna hold you there and just wait for the decision. He's a finisher. You already know, man, with his amount of weapons that he has, he got the darts, he got the anaconda, he got the head and arm chokes, so he coming for that neck, all right? So JDM, if he's unable to keep the fight from going to the ground, he's finished, he's done. So I got Islam beat JDM in the third round, either via TKO or submission.
But not everyone agrees with Buckley's assessment. Israel Adesanya sees things differently. Breaking down the fight on his YouTube channel, he praised Della Maddalena's technique and composure, calling him a technical beast who doesn't just fight with power, he fights with intelligence. Adesanya believes Makhachev will need to rely heavily on his wrestling because standing with Jack could be dangerous. Adesanya doesn't doubt Makhachev's ability to get takedowns, but he questions whether Islam can keep Jack on the ground for long periods. In his view, every time Jack gets up, it'll drain Makhachev's energy and confidence.
I think Jack in this fight with Islam, he's gonna have to just overwhelm him with punishment on the feet. And then when he shoots, because he has to shoot, Islam's not gonna want to stand with Jack. He's gonna stand with him, but he's gonna realize, I need to shoot because this is where I'm supposed to win, or I'm better at supposedly. I'm not trying to count Islam out, but I just know Jack. I know when Jack keeps getting up, it's gonna be a problem. And Islam's gonna be forced to strike. And when he's forced to strike with Jack, he's gonna get hurt. That's where I'm at in this fight. And Islam, I think, is the best of the Dagestanis, one of the best fighters in history, one of the most efficient. I do think, Islam, I'm not disrespecting, I think Islam will be able to get him down. But for how long? Yeah, in this fight, not just because it's Anzac United, I really think that Jack Della Maddalena has the skills to stifle Islam's game and be able to just put it on the feet and knock him out. Might be second round, might be third, but we'll see. Tune in and find out.
Others have added their voices to the conversation too, and opinions are split down the middle. Sean O'Malley thinks the fight will be close, a technical chess match between two highly skilled fighters. He believes Makhachev's size adjustment won't be as dramatic as some think, making this a more balanced contest than people expect.
I think I'm gonna go with Islam. I just think he's gonna be, I think it's gonna be a close fight. I think he's gonna squeak out a close fight. God, I don't know. I hate guessing fights, man. I hate guessing fights.
Max Holloway offered one of the most poetic takes on the matchup, describing it as a battle of minds as much as bodies. To him, this fight represents two philosophies colliding. Makhachev's world runs on structure, control, and precision. Della Maddalena thrives on rhythm, adaptability, and flow. Holloway believes the winner won't just be the stronger fighter, but the one who can think faster and adjust mid-fight. It's a mental chess game where every move counts.
Your thoughts on Islam moving up to welterweight?
I think he'd be fine, man. I think he'd be good, He's number 2 pound for pound in the world. You gotta respect that, but don't sleep on Jack. I think it's gonna be a tough fight. Jack is one of the best fighters in the world right now, and when that match happens, I'm hearing rumors maybe October. I think it's gonna be a fun fight, smart fight, but a lot of people counting out Jack.
Khamzat Chimaev threw in his prediction as well. The undefeated middleweight powerhouse made it clear that he believes Islam's move up in weight isn't a risk, it's a statement of dominance. He's confident Makhachev's skill set will translate perfectly, and that he'll prove himself capable of handling anyone at welterweight.
Jack or Islam? Well, Islam will get the and Jack will get my asking he coach brother wait what he gonna say, we'll see. Your opinions? 10% od Madalenas. O, Islam doktor je zvedno. Jest sam problem. Coach says 55% Maddalena, 45 Islam, but I think Islam, we'll see. Both good fighters. Islam moving up, it's interesting to see what's he gonna do. But I think Islam will be more, he's gonna use his wrestling more. And this fight.
But George Masvidal wasn't buying that idea. The veteran striker, known for his brutal honesty, believes Makhachev's control on the ground is unmatched, even compared to elite wrestlers. For Masvidal, once Islam secures top position, the fight is practically over. His grappling, balance, and ability to smother opponents make him a nightmare to deal with. In Masvidal's view, Della Maddalena might be able to hang early, but once Islam gets his hands on him, the outcome feels inevitable.
Islam Makhachev and Jack Magdalena.
I got Islam.
Islam. It's a good fight.
Yeah,
it's a good ass fight.
I think that's a really good fight for Islam. Islam's top control is different than Belal. Like Islam.
Oh yeah,
Islam,
no, that 100%. I think he's the best guy on the ground, on the mat. Once it hits the mat, now nobody else has better ground control, submissions, just everything. On the ground, he's a real life nightmare. Strikes as well. He does damage. I would easily say Makhachev is the best ground fighter right now, you know, especially after what he did to Charles Oliveira. You know, what he's done to so many guys it's crazy. It's just, is he going to be able to deal with the size and the defensive athleticism wrestling of Jack? Because Jack could wrestle pretty damn good defensively, you know, and he showed out against Belal. Belal, I know, is not Islam with the technical savviness, especially up against the cage, because I feel like Islam has several degrees with his foot sweeps, his judo, a lot of the things that he does, like really, really slick, you know. So it could be early on in the fight. Islam could get you down and get you tired early, you know. He's very, very good at doing that. But that being said, I think Jack is a threat he's never faced before. I think Jack, and to be honest with you, Jack has some of the best hands right now in the fucking UFC. Bar none. Like, I could see this guy throwing hands with anybody. He's not going to have a problem. The way he switches stance, it's like he's a Terrence Crawford, man.
Daniel Dariush looked at the situation from a more technical angle. Having studied and competed against top lightweights for years, he understands how moving up in weight can change dynamics entirely. Dariush respects Makhachev's skill, but wonders how the power and resistance of a true 170-pounder like Della Maddalena will affect Islam's usual dominance. He pointed out that at welterweight, every exchange feels heavier, every scramble more exhausting. Even a slight miscalculation could cost Makhachev dearly.
Islam versus JDM. Do you still favor Islam in that matchup?
I'm going to lean now towards JDM. I feel like the size will make a difference. Cardio-wise, JDM has great cardio. Maybe I'm wrong, but so I just feel like JDM.
From an Australian perspective, Steve Ercek couldn't hide his pride in watching his fellow countryman defend the nation's colors on one of the biggest stages in MMA. Ercek praised Della Maddalena's performance against Belal Muhammad, especially the way he stayed calm under pressure and landed precise shots instead of getting drawn into chaos. He believes that the same composure could trouble Makhachev. To him, Jack has the tools to replicate what Dustin Poirier did in brief moments against Islam, but with heavier hands and a more clinical striking approach.
Yes, I mean, I've known for a very long time that Jack is an amazing fighter. He's really good, and he shocked me on how good he was. Like, he handled the grappling exchanges so well, and it's the best striking performance I've seen from him. Like, he just, like, the big moment, like, he rose to the occasion. It was, like, fantastic to see, and I really do think I do think that the grappling from Islam, like, he's a better technical grappler than Belal is, but he's not quite as big. He's not as imposing. And yeah, if you look at the Dustin Poirier fight, Poirier was able to stop some of his takedown and win some scrambles and stuff like that. I feel like not only will Jack be able to do that, but when he lands punches, it's going to be way more devastating.
Michael Chandler stirred the conversation by emphasizing the physical aspect. He believes Della Maddalena's natural welterweight size and power could make a real difference. Chandler respects Islam's technique but argues that moving up to a division full of naturally bigger, stronger fighters could be a reality check. He's convinced that from the first exchange, Jack's punching power will test Islam's durability in a way no lightweight ever has.
How do you think Islam does next weekend?
Islam's a different breed, man. I don't think strength or size is going to be the problem. It's really going to be the dichotomy between JDM's great striking abilities and is his takedown defense enough to stop the onslaught of wrestling that Islam's going to bring. But I think JDM's a monster, man. He's pretty basic, but he is brilliant and violent with the basics. I give JDM the slight nod in that one.
Belal Muhammad, who has fought both Jack and trained with Islam, perhaps offered the most balanced perspective. He understands firsthand what makes both fighters dangerous. Belal believes the key to the fight lies in whether Makhachev can secure early takedown. If he does, it's going to be a tough, grinding night for Della Maddalena, but if Jack can keep the fight standing and make Islam work for every position, his explosive striking could turn the tide. Belal also noted that Jack's scrambling, while dynamic, can sometimes open small windows for submissions, something Makhachev is exceptionally good at capitalizing on.
Islam versus Jack. For me, breaking down this fight stylistically, obviously trained with Islam, fought Jack. It's going to come down to if it hits the ground. If it hits the ground for Islam, I think his top game is going to be really good. He's very smart, very controlled, doesn't let you off the hook when you make a mistake. Jack makes mistakes on the ground. He uses it to scramble. He has good scrambling ability. He has moments where he's like lapses safety, right? He'll give up his back, he'll give up his neck, he'll give up an arm triangle. I mean, you can't do that with Islam. Islam's gonna see that and he's gonna exploit it. I think if Islam comes out wrestling right away and forcing that takedown right away, making that work, it's gonna be a long night for Jack. Obviously, for myself, seeing him, being in there with him, he's very smart. He's good on the feet, he has good hands. He doesn't give up on himself, he always pushes through. So Jack's not gonna be like a quitter, but he has to take the center. He has to be in the middle, he has to force the action and try not to get his back to the fence. Because we've seen in the Poirier fight, Islam really wants to get you to the fence. Poirier did a good job of keeping the center and he defended a couple of takedowns. But honestly, I just think that Islam's takedown offense is gonna be more than Jack's takedown defense, and then when it goes to the ground, it's gonna be a bad night. But if Jack can avoid some of those spots, there'll be moments for him if he can make it to the 4th, 5th round. So for me, with this one, I think I'm gonna pick Islam in this fight to win it. And if it goes to the ground, I think it'll be a finish.
Robert Whitaker is standing firmly in Jack's corner. Having fought at both welterweight and middleweight, Whitaker shows how critical it is to feel comfortable at your weight. He doesn't think Della Maddalena needs to completely neutralize Makhachev's wrestling, just enough to keep the fight in even terms. For Whitaker, the key is positioning. If Jack can stay off the fence and make Islam hesitate before shooting, he has every chance to score the upset.
As you can be.
Because I think Jack has that X factor. I think he has the gut, the grit, the determination to fight the takedowns, to fight the ground, the takedown attacks that Islam is going to go for. And I think in a striking fight, straight up, Jack is better. I think he wins in the hands. Yeah. I think Jack's got the better game to strike over 5 rounds than Islam does as well, especially if Islam is trying to go for takedowns during the fight. Yeah. I think, and this is people sleep on Jack's grappling game. They sleep on his jiu-jitsu. I don't think Islam is going to be as gun-ho with the takedowns as everybody believes, because Jack has that level of offense off his back.
As fight night approaches, anticipation for UFC 322 continues to grow. Makhachev steps into Madison Square Garden, one of the sport's most iconic venues, aiming to cement his status as one of the greatest fighters of all time by becoming a 2-division champion. For Della Maddalena, it's a chance to solidify his reign and prove that elite striking can stand tall against Dagestani dominance. And hovering over it all is Kamaru Usman, watching closely and ready to pounce on the next opportunity. Whether it's Makhachev or Della Maddalena who leaves with the belt, the former champion wants his shot. He's been through wars, climbed mountains, and carried the welterweight division for years. Now, with his career entering its twilight, he knows each fight counts more than ever.